So now I'm going to show you how, if you have a TI-83 or 4 calculator, you can find these probabilities without doing out all the work by hand like we did in the last video. If you don't, there is a link, which is right here. I also put this link in OneNote as the Binomial PDF calculator for you guys to access, and you can do it that way. So either if you have a calculator, you can do it this way. If you don't, you'll do it the way that I'm going to show you. So on the calculator, if you press second vars, you'll see Binomial PDF. So you select that probability, and it's going to have you enter N, P, and X. So just like what we found up here when we did this example where we found N, P, and X, or actually was this example, the example 2. You can do that now on the calculator. So N, P, and X are the same values. N, number of trials, P, the probability of success, and X, how many successful trials were there. On the calculator, the online calculator, so here is an example of something you could put in. It's easycalculation.com. I gave you guys the link, and you put in your N. R is the same thing as X here, so the number of successes, and then your probability of success. So we are going to do a couple examples to show you how you use this. Here we have an example. So it says the results of a recent survey indicate that when grilling, 59% of households in the US have a gas grill. If you randomly select 100 households, what is the probability that exactly 65 use a gas grill, use technology? So I want you to use a calculator and not do out the work. So our probability of success is 0.59 because it's 59%. And here it says, what is the probability that exactly 65 use a gas grill? So success would be a household using a gas grill. And here it says 59% use a gas grill. So next, your number of trials would be 100, because it says you randomly select 100 households. So that's our total that we are surveying here. So that's our number of trials. And we want exactly 65 to be a success, to have a gas grill. So that would be our X, which on the website it says as R. So when I plug in this information, 0.59, 100, and 65, so 100 is my number of trials. I want 65 of those trials to be a success. And our probability was what was it? 0.59. So sometimes you have to put in the point afterwards. There we go. And when you calculate, you get 0.039. So here, our probability of X would be 0.039, which equals about 3.9%. That's right. So you would assume that there's about 4% probability that you have a success. So now the next question, it says a survey indicates that 41% of women in the US consider reading their favorite leisure time activity. You randomly select 4 US women and ask them if reading is their favorite leisure time activity. Find the probability at least 2 of them respond yes, and then fewer than 2. So these are some key words. So now our success is not going to be based on one number. Like here, it just said that exactly 65. If it says exactly a number, there's only one number that X can be. Here, at least 2, X can be multiple numbers in that situation. So for part A, our probability of success is 41%, because we want, so if they respond yes, that means reading is their favorite leisure time activity. That is our P. Our number of trials, it says you're selecting 4 women. So N would be 4. X for part A, at least 2. So if out of the 4 people you want at least 2, that means it could be 2 people. It means it could be 3, or it could be 4. It could be any of these numbers. So when we find our probability of x being at least 2, we are going to write x is greater than or equal to 2. And I just did that in the marker because there's no symbol on here for that. So what that means is we have to find the probability of 2 plus the probability of 3 plus the probability of 4. So you're adding in each of those probabilities. So we have to find 3 different probabilities because x could be 2, 3, or 4. So now we're going to go to our calculator here. So I'm going to reset this. So the number of events, we're surveying 4 people. For our first probability, let's say 2 of them are successful, and our probability of success is 0.41. For some reason, it doesn't let you do the decimal first, so I just do 41. Ooh, okay. A little finicky. There we go. So it says a 0.35 chance. So we're going to go back. The probability of 2, 0.35. Then we're going to add that to the probability of 3. So we go back to our calculator. Now the number of successes is 3. So what is that probability? 0.16. So 0.16. And then we're going to find the probability of 4. So instead of 3, we put a 4. That probability is 0.028. So we'll say 0.03. And to find the actual probability, we add them all together. So 0.35 plus 0.16 plus 0.03. And your final answer is a 0.45 chance that there is at least 2 that respond yes, selecting 4 people. Now for part B, it says fewer than 2. So if we think of x is now less than 2, all of this information is going to stay the same, except for our x values. So if p of x is less than 2, so fewer than 2, instead of having x, 2, 3, and 4, now it's going to be 0. So we could have none. We could have 1. And we can't have 2 because it has to be less than 2. So those are our only options. So don't forget about 0 here. So when I do this, I'm going to be finding the probability of 0 plus the probability of 1. So when I plug that in, the probability of 0 says 0.12. 0.12 for probability of 0. Probability of 1 is 0.336, so 0.34. So that would mean 0.12 plus 0.34, we get 0.46 probability. Now you'll notice that these numbers are fairly similar. If you add them together, they equal 1, and that's because the probability of getting a number greater than or equal to 2 and the probability of getting a number less than 2, these are complements of each other. So we actually could have found 1 minus this number to get our answer down here, but this is also a way you can do it out. That is how you find those answers on the graphing calculator or on that website.